I know you weren't part of the primary.
I'll be running next election, so I won't take up your time, but thank you for all that supported me.
Thank you. And speaking of the primary, I know we have some victors in the room, but unfortunately, I'm not going to let you talk. I would love to, but we've already started late, and we have so many things that we need to cover tonight. So be prepared next month, because you will be on the ballot in November, and that's when you'll be starting your campaigns all over again and running fast. Do we have any other, besides Justin, do we have anyone else here who won their primary?
Blue.
Well, we're still waiting on that race, I believe.
Yeah.
That one, I think, it's unofficial, yes. But I want to say congratulations to Justin and to Mr. Blue. You both ran, and I think I have to say that all of the candidates ran wonderful races. I didn't see any backbiting. I didn't see, any of that. And I just think that was terrific. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go on to Sue Youngman. And she's just going to spend a few minutes talking about Dr. Ben Carson. And she has some different signs and things. We're going to give her about 2 minutes.
I don't even need that much.
Perfect.
I have some brochures up here. I'm with the National Draft Ben Carson Committee for President, and someone's trying to get him to run. So there's some brochures up here. There's a petition to sign. If you'd be interested in signing that petition, it's just to get him to run. He hasn't said he will yet. He's a wonderful man. He's a professor emeritus from Johns Hopkins University, neurosurgeon. He has a life story. It's called Gifted Hands on YouTube, if you want to see more about him. Good man. So sign our petition. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to get to the really exciting part of our meeting. And that is we're going to hear from the candidates. And we're going to give them about 2.5 to 3 minutes. Because we know we are going to go to convention. And to be quite honest with you, I have not kept up. I know we were going to go the 21st, and we were going to go to one town, and then they canceled that, and now we may be going to another town. So I'm going to be asking whoever has the latest and greatest information, you've got it, to help me out with that, because unfortunately this last storm, I've been putting plastic on my windows and trying to clean carpet with no power, and my house is kind of a wreck. But when I called State Farm, I'm like, okay, I got a house, an outbuilding, an RV, and 3 cars that got smacked. What you gonna do for me? So anyway, what I would like to do is to bring our congressional candidates up, and I'm going to do it in alphabetical order, so you know who you are, so you'll know who's next. And the only one that is not present at this point in time is Mr. Grandinet. So if we have anyone that would like to speak for him, you're welcome to. Volunteers? Okay, so we have 5, not 6. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out. And what a great day for Tuesday. We were really pleased with what happened. We feel like we went from 0, being no one knowing who we were about 5 months ago, to second place. And so we felt really good about the results and get the word. And thank you so many of you that helped get the word out and got out there. So now the process continues. And yes, we're just about positive it's going to be the 21st. But we're not quite sure where the location is. They've been having trouble nailing one down, so they're still working on it. Well, we also feel like my opponents have a collective political experience of 70 years. And so we overcame that 70 years of experience in 120 days as well. And so we felt like our message of being the business guy and the conservative really resonated well. And my theme is kind of, I've done that. When it comes to creating jobs, well, I've actually created jobs. When it comes to Obamacare, well, I've actually been working through that. Our company has seen the inner belly of the beast as we're trying to work through it with our employees, and it needs to go. When it comes to standing up for life and for marriage, I've done that. And last year when I went through that Board of Regents deal when the governor nominated me for the Board of Regents, standing up to the Democrats and the media who want to just say that my views on life and marriage haven't evolved enough. You have to have the courage to stand up to them and tell them no. And when Stacey Apple comes this summer, she's going to be smearing whichever one of us wins. and we've got to have the courage to stand up for our values. And when we go to Washington, we've got to stand up. We also have to stand up to FEMA and tell them to not, bribe or, or force. It's really bullying, cities and local governments into doing things they really don't want to do. In fact, my anti-bullying bill is to tell the Democrats to stop bullying us into silence on so many of our precious issues, and not have the government bullying us into things like Common Core and into Agenda 21, all those things. So we all got to rise together and be the anti-bullying crowd to the government. The process is we go to this next step, and in fact, if you don't mind, raise your hand if you're a delegate to the district or state convention. Yes, a lot of you. So we're all going to be there together, and it's going to be an interesting process, and probably you've heard, but they're going to have a vote, and then it'll be secret ballot, and then after, I think now the actual rule is they're going to go one ballot, and nobody get eliminated. But the second ballot, the lowest vote getter will then be eliminated. They'll vote again, and to see if no one gets 50% plus one, they'll eliminate another person, and they'll vote again. So the process goes until we get to 50 plus one. Well, it makes it very interesting, and we all want to be your friends. And
I like chocolate.
Anybody else for chocolate?
I like $20 bills.
Talk to the other campaign. But we want to earn your vote. I want to earn your vote. But to be frank, I also, if you've already got a first choice, I'd love to be your second choice. Because as you go through that day, you're going to have to make some decisions. You're going to, as people get eliminated, you might choose somebody else. So I'm really looking forward to meeting you. I'll be around here afterwards to ask questions. I might be on your doorstep. I might be in places you never expected me to pop up. But I really want to get to know you, and I appreciate this opportunity. And let's enjoy this next couple weeks, and we'll see you in some town between here and Des Moines on the 21st. Thank you very much.
My turn?
It's your turn,
All right.
Mr. Schultz.
Well, thank you. It's because of you we won Council Bluffs, we won Pottawattamie County, and we're in the thick of it. So I want to thank you for getting out to the polls and for all your support. This is, Al, where is Al? You leave? All right. You want to fix these problems, you want somebody who's going to go fight FEMA, you need to elect somebody from Council Bluffs. I mean, I understand these issues. I understand Council Bluffs. And you know me. You know me. I was your city councilman for 5 years. I've served as your Secretary of State. And I'm a fighter. I stand up for what I believe in, no matter what the Des Moines Register wants to say about me. I keep fighting. And I'll tell you, look at my record on the city council. I know Mayor Hanford wasn't happy, but my first year, Scott Belt and I and the other council members cut $1 million from the mayor's budget. We lowered the city tax levy every year. I jobbed stimulus projects, check holder stimulus projects. I voted against every one of them. And when the property rights issues came and the city wanted to condemn like 100 properties to try and get under the new state law, I voted against it because it was wrong. And when Dr. Carhart wanted to build a clinic here in Council Bluffs, exactly, boo. The city council banded together and I led the charge. We put a deed restriction on the piece of property he was looking at that said no abortions could be performed there. I have a record. Look at my record. And I have been vetted like no one else, thanks to the Des Moines Register. They don't like me for a reason, because I'm a conservative. I'm a real conservative. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. As your Secretary of State, I fought every day for voter ID and election integrity. And they just keep attacking me. But it's the right thing to do. John, you won by 1 vote? Boy, somebody could have cheated and made a difference there. That's why I've stood up for election integrity, to make sure that we don't let that happen. I'm returning more than $200,000 to the general fund. That doesn't happen. You know why? Because in state government, the mentality is spend it. Because if you don't, the legislature won't give it back to you. But we were able to make changes in our office. and get permanent savings. And I followed the advice of the Department of Administrative Services. But the Des Moines Register doesn't care about that. They just keep attacking me. But I keep standing up and I keep fighting back. I've been vetted. I know what's coming. They tried to kill me and keep me from getting through the primary, but thanks to you, we're going to convention. I want your support. I'll represent you. I will represent Council Bluffs. I still have a house here. I care about this community, and I care about you. I care about this district. I'm concerned. I look at my 5 kids. What's going to happen if we don't get the spending under control? That's why I will not vote to raise the debt ceiling. I won't. Not unless a balanced budget amendment is attached to it. We need something to force the President and Congress to do the right thing. And we can balance the budget. Let's pass the penny plan. Cut 1 penny from every dollar of federal spending and cap spending at 18% GDP. That's what it traditionally was until Barack Obama became president. It's going to take somebody who's tough to fight for tough things. I'll fight to repeal and replace Obamacare, and I will fight for term limits. Because I believe politicians go to Washington and they fight for themselves instead of the people. And we need somebody who's going to fight for the people. People say these things can't be done, but I believe they can if we send people who believe we can get them done. We just need to elect more fighters, more people who are tough, who have been through the refiner's fire. So please, there's a lot of good candidates running. But I would ask for you to support me at the convention. One of your own hometown boys. Let's get this election and let's win. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
And now we have someone that I was told I could not call Mr. Shaw. I had to call him Monty. I had no choice.
Well, I'm getting gray hair. What I have left is gray, but my dad is still Mr. Shaw to me. So whenever someone says Mr. Shaw, I look around and see if he walked in the door. But I am Monty Shaw, and I'm honored to be here today. As has been mentioned, we went through the primary. No one got the required 35%, so there was no winner on primary day, so we move on to a convention. I was excited to carry 10 of the 16 counties on Tuesday night and show some broad base of support there. And now I think we move to a new phase of the campaign, a phase where we have 513 delegates who are some of our most active and committed Republican activists out there. And I look forward to that. I spent 20 years working with folks like Mary Jones and some of you out here to elect Republicans across this area. It was my pleasure to represent this county as part of the old 5th District for 4 years on the State Central Committee, where despite a relatively interesting cast of characters on the Republican Party State Central Committee, we got people focused on the big picture, and we had people from across the Republican spectrum on that committee voting together to move the party forward. That's what I think I bring to this race, is someone who not only shares your values and shares your desires, what we want to see for this country in the future and our kids, but someone who's been able to not just pound the fist on the table. Believe me, I know where that frustration comes from, to pound that fist, right? But I've also been willing to sit down at that table, bring people together where we can agree. If they want to go in a direction that's counter to my conservative philosophy, I'm not going there. But if we can find areas where we agree, sit down at that table, work together, and get things done. And that's what I think my track record shows. And I think we have to look for a candidate that can hit the ground running and take the fight to Stacey Apple. The Democrats have already reserved over $1 million of TV time. They'll probably put $4 or $5 million of TV time into this race, and it's not to blow kisses at our Republican nominee. Matt talked about vetting. They're going to vet. So before we choose our nominee, you all need to do your due diligence and vet us and figure out who's going to be the best candidate to win in November. I think we're all going to have, we share similar values. Who can stand up to that liberal attack machine, and then who can be effective once elected. And I look forward to standing on a stage with Stacey Apple and under those bright lights and those debates and holding her accountable for her